The Lighthouse Keeper's Final Testament. My name is Finn. I signed up for isolation and I got it. 200 feet of spiral stone staircase connecting the base of this rock to the top of the world. My job was simple. Keep the huge Fresnel lens clean and the lights spinning. I was alone, happy, and predictable. Until the night the predictability broke. It was a Tuesday. The storm wasn't just rain and wind, it was a physical threat. The lighthouse shuddered with every wave hit. I was in the small watch room 10 hours into my shift when I heard it. Knock, knock, knock. It was a sharp, clear knock on the heavy wooden front door. The base door. The door I hadn't opened in 3 months. The door that was currently being assaulted by waves high enough to capsize a freighter. There was no way to dock, no way to climb the slick ladder without being swept away. No one should be down there. I snatched my lamp and my utility knife, adrenaline pumping a cold fury through me. Someone was playing a sick joke. I had to know who. Act 1, the impossible guest. I crept down the first 50 steps. The sounds of the storm were deafening now, but they couldn't mask the knocking. It was insistent, desperate. I reached the bottom landing. The air was frigid, smelling of salt and rust. I pressed my ear to the heavy door. Beyond the thunder of the sea, I heard a small, muffled voice. Please, let me in. I'm freezing to death. It was the high, thin voice of a child. My mind screamed impossible, but my hands were already moving. A child couldn't survive this. A ghost couldn't sound this desperate. I fumbled with the 3 heavy, rusted bolts, then pulled the door inward just enough for a small figure to slip through. A girl no older than 7 stumbled inside. She was soaked, shivering violently, and wore a coat made for a mild spring rain, not a North Atlantic hurricane. She clutched a wet, dirty rag doll. Thank you, she whispered, her teeth chattering. The waves, they took my boat. I wrapped her in thick blankets and gave her the last of my hot chocolate. While she warmed up, I did my duty. I grabbed the radio. Coast Guard. This is Finn at the Rock. I have a passenger. Child. Possible hypothermia. The mainland operator's voice was tight with disbelief. Finn, we have no missing vessels. Visibility is 0. No one could have reached that rock alive tonight. Are you all right? I looked at the girl. She was staring at me with huge, unblinking blue eyes. I whispered into the radio, send help. Now. Then I turned to the child. What is your name, dear? And how did you climb that ladder? My name is Lily, she said simply. And I didn't climb a ladder. I was already here. Act 2, the Keeper's Secret. My hands started to shake. What do you mean, already here? I came to see you, she said, finally finishing her chocolate. I miss my papa. He's the lighthouse keeper. I swallowed hard. Lily, I'm the keeper. I've been here 5 years. I'm alone. She looked around the room, at the damp logbooks, the rusty tools, the little stove. Oh, you don't understand, she said, her voice dropping. My papa was the keeper who fell from the top 7 years ago. He was the one before you. The previous keeper, Mr. Peterson, vanished without a trace. His death was ruled an accident, a slip in a sudden fog. Lily stood up and walked to a section of the wall near the staircase. She traced a finger along the stones, revealing a hairline seam I had never noticed. It was a perfectly hidden secret panel. Papa built a room, she murmured. He kept his real treasures in here. He told me to wait for the new keeper. He knew someone would replace him. She reached inside the panel and pulled out 2 things. A small, smooth black stone and an old leather-bound book. It was the lighthouse's first and oldest logbook, the one that was supposed to have been completed by Peterson. It was completely blank. He wanted you to have the logbook, Lily said, and he wanted you to know his secret. Act 3, the rattle of the chain. What is the secret, Lily? I asked, my voice barely a thread. He was lonely, she whispered, coming closer. So lonely the sea wouldn't let him leave. The sea loves its treasures, Finn. The real treasure is the light itself. She stopped and pointed to a thick, rusted chain running up the central spiral column. This chain powered the enormous clockwork mechanism that spun the light at the top. Papa found a way to stop the loneliness, she said. Suddenly, a sound rose above the storm, not a knock, but a terrible dragging noise coming from upstairs, inside the lighthouse walls. Clunk. Clunk. It sounded like heavy iron being dragged across stone. Lily clapped her hands over her ears, eyes wide with genuine fear. "He's awake. You shouldn't have opened the door." "Who is awake, Lily?" I demanded, pressing the knife to her coat. "The other keeper," she sobbed. "Papa found him trapped in the rock. A ghost from 100 years ago. Papa bound him with a chain to power the light. The black stone is the lock. The light won't spin without a soul to power it." The dragging sound was closer now, accompanied by a low, guttural moan. It was coming down the stairs, and it was fast. I looked at the chain, then at the black stone, then back at Lily. Act 4. The Final Keeper. I had no time. The shadow of something enormous flickered on the wall 50 steps above us. I threw the black stone at Lily. "You take it," I yelled. "Go back to your secret room. Lock it." I snatched the blank logbook and darted up the winding staircase 2 steps at a time. The dragging sound was immediately behind me. I heard Lily's small, terrified shriek as the creature reached the bottom landing. I didn't stop until I reached the watchroom 200 feet up. I slammed the heavy steel door and threw the bolt. I collapsed, shaking, and looked through the glass. The dragging noise stopped at the watchroom door. Then a massive bony fist hammered the metal, denting it inwards. The moan was directly on the other side. I looked desperately around the room for a weapon, finding only the blank logbook in my hands. I flipped it open, and on the very first page in Peterson's frantic handwriting were 3 words: "The chain must turn." I looked up at the light mechanism. It was slowing down. The other keeper, having chased me, was no longer powering the chain. The light was failing. I had to restart the mechanism, but the chain ran down the central column, right through the heavy door where the creature was waiting. Then, through the glass, I saw the true horror. Standing on the tiny, storm-swept walkway outside in the rain was Mr. Peterson. He was tall, gaunt, and wearing his tattered uniform. His arms were stretched out. He wasn't reaching for me. He was standing by the central column, his waist wrapped tightly in a thick, wet rope, the start of the chain. He was preparing to throw himself over the railing, hooking his body to the mechanism to get it turning again. He was the new soul powering the light, protecting his daughter who was still hidden below. He looked at me not with anger but with profound relief. He nodded once and then he was gone. The light mechanism suddenly surged, spinning the great lens with renewed, powerful speed. The lighthouse was saved. The slamming on the door stopped. The terrible moan faded. The other keeper was gone, its power replaced by Peterson's sacrifice. I looked down at the blank logbook in my hands. The top of the page was clean, waiting. I understood the nature of the treasure, the prison, and the inheritance. The wind slowed. The rain eased. A new keeper was needed to watch the light. But the light needed a soul to spin. I walked to the radio, picked up the microphone, and spoke one final word. "Coast Guard, this is Finn at the Rock. The light is secure. I'm relieved of my post. The new keeper has arrived." I put the microphone down, picked up the pen, and started writing the date in the new old logbook. The last thing I heard before the pen touched the paper was a faint, small, grateful voice from somewhere deep inside the walls. "Thank you, Keeper."